Stock tracks.
It's a timeless song.
Oh, it's like the coolest track.
I suppose I remember this track as a kid.
My essential track.
Hello. It's not an influence track, but I think a track from the new album, which when I first listened to it, I remember I was on an aeroplane, and I was trying to find you, and I was like, "Where are you?" And I was like, "This track." I was on an aeroplane like this, like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" It's Paraguay by Iggy Pop.
And I won't stop to say goodbye, Paraguay.
Oh, it's like the coolest track. And the lyrics at the end, fantastic. And I think really poignant for the age that we're in. It's all about the information overload and how he said it makes him sick and it's our fault kind of thing, which is really funny. Yeah, amazing track. Love that song.
My brother, I was 13 or 14 and he gave me Grace for Christmas. And just was like, I had no clue who he was. Didn't know he was dead. Didn't know. My brother just went, put this on.
There's the moon asking to stay long enough for the clouds to fly me away. My fading voice sings above.
And I was like, all right. And I put it on and I was like, that is the strangest thing I've ever heard. Like, it was really, at first I was kind of like, whoa, that's a bit bizarre. But like, it was just great. So it was like, it started off like that and then towards the end. And then like when he's just going absolutely hell for leather and with that mental high note and all of that. And I was just like, and then I went through the whole thing a couple of times and again, just became obsessed with it. And my brother told me then all the things that happened.
Galvanize by Chemical Brothers. I don't even really know why I chose this song. I love Chemical Brothers and I love their live show as well. And I remember the first time I heard the riff, and I was a violin player as well. And so for me, it was a big deal to hear a riff that was a violin or like a classical instrument in dance music. It kind of changed everything for me. Where I was like, maybe violin actually isn't.
Violins can be
lame.
cool.
Violins can be cool. They made it cool. It was
Rave
a big
violins.
deal. I suppose I remember this track as a kid because my sister, she was like a dance music journalist at the time. And so she was always showing me kind of music I shouldn't have known about as a kid. Like everyone else was listening to like Beyonce. I love Beyonce. Like I listened to that as well. But she kind of showed me a lot of kind of drum and bass and a lot of kind of rave music. And I remember watching the film clip as a kid and it had Q-Tip in it. And I'd always been a huge hip hop fan as well, like Tribe Called Quest. And then when I realized he was working on this track and my sister showed it to me, it just blew my mind.
Well, I was going to talk about Bruce Springsteen. Well, I mean, I always liked Bruce Springsteen, but then when I moved to Los Angeles, they had just started that, they had just released that River box set.
We go down to the river, headed to the river we dive. Oh, down to the river we ride.
The River was kind of his album about like moving into adulthood, you know, like kind of growing up and like, and he was trying to kind of figure out his place within growing up, you know, and like being an adult now and his music and everything. I kind of felt like a certain kinship with that idea around the same time. And it was about time to start making a new record. And then I got really heavy into that record, listening to it a lot and using it as kind of an inspiration for starting to write. And because I think I was feeling similar themes